but I'm so pleased to have you on, David. I'm really privileged. And a big thank you also to Matt Nerona for passing you my way. And we finally made friends after a long, long time, which is
absolutely. Thanks, Matt.
We were having a fantastic conversation earlier on, weren't we, about you being stranded abroad when this virus hit?
Yes. So when everything started to unfold, I was actually in Hawaii doing a training. I was teaching Hawaiian Huna. And Huna is the original spiritual teachings of the ancient people of Hawaii. And so I'm around the other side of the planet. I mean, really around the other side of the planet. And in this island paradise, you know, there's nothing about coronavirus. There's nothing at all. Nobody'd even heard of it. There's no cases or anything. And then my flights get cancelled. Some of my students' flights from the UK get cancelled. I'm starting to go, ooh, okay. And then the hotel starts locking down, and I finally managed to get some flights back out. And it's a long way, you know. I mean, it's 5 or 6 hours from Kona to LA, and then 11 hours from LA. And the closer I got back to the UK, the more I started realizing that things were not as they were in Hawaii. So, and then straight into lockdown, no food, no empty fridge, you know, the whole thing. So, and I started doing these Facebook Lives from the beach in Hawaii, because I went like, okay, well, I've got some things that can enable people to stay mentally, emotionally, and physically well. And then when I got back, I couldn't do them when I was flying back. Once I got back, I started doing them again. And today, my live, which is going out at the moment on my profile, is day 21
of your videos
since I got back. So, you know, this is now a month really. So,
wow. And to be honest, I was watching your videos and I just thought, oh, I loved that one of the breathing in and the breathing out through the breath. And you were sitting on the beach and you just hear the waves.
Yes.
You know, and I've been following some of the videos, just fabulous. Really, really in the vibe of positivity without even anything else.
Yeah. And I think you're going to share with people the link.
I will.
Heart breathing by the Pacific. With the music from my very dear friend Friedrich Carlson. So
fantastic. Yeah. So we'll get you all a link for that David is happily sharing with everyone. But before we came on, we were having just like a normal conversation about, you know, we're all human, aren't we? You know, I teach, you teach. You know, we have to battle with our heads during this time, you know, and it's sometimes easier just to help other people. You know, this is how I can help you, but actually helping ourselves is really testing, very, very testing. So just wanted to bring it back more to us as people. How do you know, you obviously were stranded abroad, right? You didn't know whether you were going to get back. It was something totally new for you, and you weren't allowed to walk along the beach. You know, people couldn't serve you. What was going through your mind at that time?
Well, I think that the thing that really got me through was I started going like, okay, obviously I was distracted all day because we got 200 people in Hawaii who I had a responsibility, and my other teachers have got a responsibility to teach Huna to, and they travel from all over the world, you know. So when I'm doing that, I can't think about anything else. I'm just teaching other people, just sharing what I know. And then, you know, I started doing these Facebook Lives, but then I'm going like, okay, so how am I going to get back? My flight's been cancelled. I couldn't get through to BA. Nobody's picking up the phone. Maybe I'm going to be stranded in Hawaii, and some people go like, wow, what a place to be stranded. But I go like, no, I need to get back. I've got businesses to run here and all that kind of thing. So, the natural thing is to start to feel anxious.
Yeah. Totally.
Even a little bit scared. But then, I don't know, a lot of the people who've been watching this are professional therapists, professional, coaches, or, those kind of things. And I'm going like, okay, well, I better start using what I know on myself.
Absolutely.
Right. Because I'm going, there was I got to the point where I wasn't able to sleep.
Yes.
And you find yourself naturally focusing on what you don't want, which is a guaranteed way of actually feeling anxious and scared. Because when you focus on what you do want, you don't tend to feel anxious.
No.
Strange that, really, isn't it? I know it's really simple, but simple doesn't mean easy.
No, not
right.
So.
I went like, okay, so because I'm sharing the techniques with other people on my Facebook Live, they're going like, okay, well, let's use them yourself. Do heart breathing, do your hakalau, do your havening.
Yeah, that's a lovely one. This one.
Whatever. Yeah, I know it's. I was so skeptical about that. My business partner James Mellinson said, "I'm going to do havening." I'm going. I won't say what I actually said.
Yeah.
Because it's a family show. And then he actually demonstrated it to me with a client, and I'm looking at it and going like, "Whoa, okay." And I actually saw the anxiety, the panic leave from the person's body, like in an instant, So I think that's the important thing. I think that's really, I guess, the true definition of a leader. Is somebody who actually does what they say.
Yes.
And actually, I run several businesses. I'm going like, okay, I've got to pivot my business. My biggest business runs public events. Well, we had to postpone all of those. And people aren't in the place at the moment where they want to book another physical event because they don't know where their money's come from, but also they don't know when this physical event's actually going to happen. So that has a major impact on cash flow, like it drops off a cliff.
Yes.
And my private clients, a lot of them, my international clients, I've always worked with over Zoom or over Skype or FaceTime. But my clients in the UK, wanted to come and see me face to face. And obviously that's not possible anymore. So they were going like, no, well, because I can't see you face to face, I don't want to do it anymore. So, this is not only a mindset shift for yourself as a speaker, presenter, trainer, therapist, whatever, but it's also assisting your clients in going through the mindset shift, that you can actually provide them the value that you've always provided them with, if we're all just a little bit flexible in our mindset. And this is what thing we were talking about when we first came on. I hear all these speakers going, it's 90% mindset, 10% strategy, and then you go onto their training and it's 90% strategy and 10% mindset. No, it's not. It's in here.
It's all in there, isn't it? Knock knock.
And I know you've knock knock, yeah. And even when you're in lockdown,
yes,
there is this thing called wherever you go, there you are.
Knock knock.
You used to think all the problems were outside of you.
No, it's in you.
Now you're on your own. You go,
right problems.
Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
so it is a mindset shift. And, the strategy for doing what we're doing now, 10 years ago, this would have been nigh on impossible and or massively expensive.
Yes.
And it's not now. Now you can have your own TV show, you can have your own radio station, you can have your own magazines, newspapers,
mobile phones,
etc. For next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people go, yeah, but I'm not a techie, I'm not a PC person, I'm not a Mac person, I don't know what I'm doing. And really, things are so easy these days. I know we had a little bit of a challenge getting
But
lost.
do you know what? David, I'm really pleased that happened, because everyone says to me, oh, but you're so this and you're so that. But actually, I'm human. I'm no different. I wasn't born with a computer in my hand.
Nope.
And you know what I mean? And I still don't know how to separate us, but I'm sure I'll ask and find out. But I'm glad it happened, because I'm still here.
And what did it take to get Zoom streaming live onto Facebook? Took you about a minute.
Yeah, that bit did, but I didn't know how to get us separated. But if you were watching me from the outside, well, what was Teresa's mindset like? Did she want to run away? It's all these sorts of things, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the mindset bit of it. As long as you've got the mindset sorted out, as long as you're able to be in a good state, comfortable state, empowered state, you'll sort everything else out. And I think also, because I'm seeing a number of things at the moment about we're all in the same boat, and then I've seen it being shifted now to no, we're not all in the same boat, we're all in the same storm, but our boats are different. Okay, fair. And though what I think has happened because of that is that when people do go online, when people do venture out to their clients and say, look, I can still provide you with value, I'm still with you, we're still connected, that when it doesn't work out first time, people are just forgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. They think they're rubbish at technical stuff. Actually, nobody's rubbish at anything until they've learned how to master it.
Exactly. So I think the important thing now is to get out there, then make it perfect.
Yes.
But I think the need for perfection is kind of has decreased. People just want that connection. They want to, they want to be with their mentor. They want to be with their therapist because people are struggling.
Yeah.
The thing I'm getting feedback on more and more is that, what you're seeing online is this is the time to learn a new skill. This is the time to set up the business you always wanted to have. This is the time to, you have more time now than you ever had before. I haven't.
No, I've been full on.
I know you have. You said that before.
So bloody busy.
But the feedback I'm getting is that the majority of people I'm connected with are finding it tough. They're struggling. They're struggling with their emotions. They're struggling with their mindset. They're struggling, being 24 hours a day with their partner or with their children or with their family or with their friends, or being with themselves. And when people are in that state, that's not the right place to start going, I want to learn this, I want to do this thing different. Get yourself sorted first. Yeah. Get rid of the anxiety, the fear, and the panic. Yeah. And then go, okay, now I've got myself back into a good place. Now what am I going to do? Yeah. This is really apt for me because I'm definitely, and I'm like many people, I have my bouts of anxiety, insomnia, and when we're in the head and the head's going,
have you got any like tips that your head's go, 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 you're caught up in your head and you've got to get out of your head? Do you know what I mean? To not get the anxiety, which will be a knock-on effect after that. Have you got like any tips for people when they're whirring around, more so when, at night, just before bed, and all those sorts of things?
I mean, there's three things. One is, you know, when our head's whirring and we're in what we might call stress or panic or anxiety, then we're in sympathetic nervous arousal, which is a stress response. And it's binary. We're either in sympathetic nervous arousal or in parasympathetic nervous arousal, which is a relaxation response. So there's a couple of neurological hacks that we can do. One is the way that we use our vision. When we're in sympathetic nervous arousal and in the stress response, we're in foveal or tunnel vision. And there's two ways that we can use our eyes. The other is that we go into peripheral vision and put our awareness in the periphery. So we can actually do that now. If you'd like to, we can stack these things up together very, very quickly. Is to find a spot on the wall that you can look at comfortably. It might even be the computer screen. It doesn't matter. I can look at my little green light that says my camera is on. Looking on that, but then I can open up my awareness into the periphery, so I can see out the window here. I can see into the kitchen here. I can see still the back into my lounge. I can see the ceiling. I can see the floor. I can see my legs. I can see my hands if I put them out here. And when you put your awareness into the periphery, it switches your neurology into parasympathetic nervous arousal. Yeah, I just saw that happen then, right? Now, the other thing is to have your jaw relaxed, because tension in the jaw goes with the chatter, internal chatter, you know. Whereas if your jaw is relaxed, you can even have your mouth wide open, you know, as if you're watching EastEnders. Please only do this on your own, not if you're on the bus or on the train. It's a guaranteed way of getting a seat, or possibly the entire bus or carriage to yourself. But you put yourself into peripheral vision, then see if you go to 360 degrees. So imagine a tennis ball floating above and behind the back of your head. Look at that spot, put your attention on the tennis ball, and you'll notice that your awareness opens up. Probably become more relaxed. Your breathing drops down. That's actually a technique from Hawaiian Huna. It's called haka lao. And haka, H-A-K-A, haka, which is the same as the in Maori, with the haka that the All Blacks do. Haka means to focus, and lau, L-A-U, means to spread out. So it means to focus in and to spread out. And it was the state of the highly revered state of the kahuna in Hawaii. Now, if you were actually a kahuna, you would never say you were a kahuna. If somebody announced themselves as a kahuna or introduced themselves, that's a guaranteed way of knowing that they're not. So how did you know who was a kahuna? Because when everybody else is losing their head, when everybody else is freaking out, they would also always be na, kahuna. Na means calm, balanced, and centered. This is the waking meditation of the kahuna. But then, you know, this is again from Huna, but it integrates nicely with NLP, is that in NLP we've got that our emotional state is determined by our physiology. And the main thing in our physiology that changes our state more than anything else is our breathing. Now, stress, panic, etc., is shallow breathing at the top of the lungs. So if we go the opposite to that, and we take a technique from Huna, which is called ha breathing, then what we do is diaphragmatic breathing. Take a deep breath in through the nose, being in hakalau, peripheral vision at the same time. Deep breath in through the nose, then out through the mouth. You don't need to breathe away from me. We're virtual.
I didn't want you to see my mouth.
I actually make that hard vibration in the throat. It increases your energy. But also has you become more calm, balanced, and centered.
Yes.
Now, I've been teaching that for 27 years now, actually.
Wow.
And it works, but I didn't know scientifically why it worked. But there's there's the vagal nerve, or the vagus nerve, that goes from the brain, joins up the heart and the gut, goes down the back of the spine. That's like our body's internet backbone. And it's the heart of our parasympathetic nervous system, which is relaxation. Mm-hmm. So the thing that stimulates the vagal nerve, actually now proven from neuroscience, is deep rhythmical breathing.
Yeah.
And vibration in the throat. Which is why the sound is important, or even humming, or one of the things I do when I'm doing Huna is chanting. Then chanting stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, and it puts your 3 brains in your head, the brain in the heart, which we're now starting to understand, from neurocardiology, and the brain in our gut, which we're starting to understand. It synchronizes them all together.
Wow.
Then if we layer that in with a third technique, which is from Havening, we mentioned it earlier, which is a psychosensory technique, which works with the sense of touch. And this is particularly important, I think, for people that are totally on their own in isolation, in that we don't have touch, we don't touch each other, we don't hug each other. And that's an important thing. There's a scientist by the name of Tomatis said that sound was actually a nutrient. There were these monks in a monastery in France, I think it was, and they did simple practice. They worked on the land, but every hour they got together and they chanted Gregorian chants in Latin, which is the root language. And they were known for never getting ill, and they were known for always looking younger than their years. And they had a new abbot come in, and he decided to modernize things, and he decided, chanting those old chants doesn't work anymore. So he stopped it. And the monks started getting ill, and they started aging.
Oh my gosh.
They'd done nothing else. This is Tomatis. If you search for Tomatis and sound. And so the abbot wouldn't what's going on? What have we changed? And the only thing they changed was that they weren't chanting. So he reintroduced chanting again. And in a root language like Latin, or like Hawaiian, or like Sanskrit, or like Hebrew, Maori, Aborigine languages, etc. And they got well.
Wow.
They started getting physically younger. This is all to do with the vagus nerve, or the vagal nerve. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, which of course you do when you chant. Mm-hmm. All of those kind of things. But then also with the havening touch, this is my preferred one. Let me just move my camera down a little bit so you can just see it. And you just it's almost like giving yourself a hug. So it's like very light. You go about once per second from the shoulder down to the elbows. And what this does, and I've checked this out from using EEG, it actually creates in your brain a delta wave. And the delta frequency is the lowest frequency that your brain operates at. and it's the frequency that your brain operates at when you're asleep or close to sleep. Because you were talking about insomnia, not being able to sleep. So if you combine all three things together, Huckalau, peripheral vision, heart breathing, and havening.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel the change?
Yeah, totally. Totally.
So 7 minutes of that, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. One is it energizes your body, but it gets you into a nice, calm, balanced, centered state for taking out the day, doing whatever you're doing in the day. But also just before you go to sleep at night, doing the same thing, you know, your unconscious mind uses energy whilst you're asleep to heal your body. So, but it's a nice, calm, balanced, and centered energy, which you can take into sleep. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, and you know, here's my personal one. You have to think of what yours is. You know, can you remember a time when you felt like really tired? You went to bed, and it felt so good when you got into bed that maybe either out loud or inside your head you made a sound. Like for me, like when I do that, I'm really tired. I've had a really fulfilling day. I know I've achieved a lot, and I'm just going to fall asleep. The sound I make is kind of like a kind of sound, either out loud or in your head. So if you do it at the end of the day, you're doing your huckalau, you're doing your heart breathing, you're doing this.
Makes sense.
And either out loud or just in your mind, you make that sound that
yes.
You'll be asleep really, really quickly.
Sounds bliss.
And this is learning how to hack your nervous system, you know?
Yeah. So you're hacking yourself, aren't you?
You're hacking yourself.
You are. You are. I've got there were some fantastic tips, you know, because I know a lot of people are, you know, going through so much at the moment. They were absolute gold. Could I pass some questions on to you that people have got in the chat box?
Yeah, sure.
If that's all right.
Yeah. So I can't see.
Let me see if there are any questions. Hold on. Let me see.
Or ask people the questions. I can't. There are 3.
Good evening. Okay, maybe there weren't questions. That's fine. Okay, that's simple. But if anyone's got any questions, put them in the chat box, and then we'll ask. That would be great. But otherwise, no, that's fine. I thought there were questions, but there aren't. So
I could see there were 3 things in the chat there. So if people have got questions, then I'm quite
ask in the chat box now while you've got the opportunity to, which is fantastic. So I guess I think you've answered everything, David, more than what I was even expecting, to be honest. But I know you do training. You've got an app, and I got that the other day. Woohoo! I was stalking you on YouTube on Easter. I was thinking, okay, I'm interviewing this guy. Let's just find out a little bit more about you and blah, blah, blah. And then I finally came across your app, and I've now got it. David Shephard is on here. So more things to keep me positive. And I've got someone from iPhone. How can you use H breathing for goal setting? Because I guess that helps.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question, actually, because you can. So let me go into my Kumu of Huna hat for a while, because I'm a Kumu and a Huna lineage, Hawaiian lineage that goes back at least 26 generations. I still wonder how this lad from Mansfield wound up going to Hawaii and teaching Huna, but I guess certain things are meant to be. So in in Huna, we have this thing called a pule, which is P-U-L-E, pule. And the closest translation to pule into English would be prayer, to pray. But originally, prayer wasn't what most people think of prayer as being from a religious connotation today, which is like prayer is normally today taken as being worship. But pule originally was actually probably the closest translation would be to cast a spell, to manifest something, to create something in your universe, your world, which is what goal setting, or more appropriately goal achievement, would be more about. So, you know, the link with the Ha breath is in Hawaii. Before the missionaries arrived, they had what they called the Ha Pule, which was what you did was you created a picture of exactly what it was that you wanted. You Ha breathed to create energy or mana, which is what it's called in Hawaiian. And then you would give the picture and the energy to your higher self, what some people might call in the Western world the holy guardian angel, or your guardian parental spirit, or something like that. And actually gave the energy and the picture and said to your higher self, create this for me.
What a brilliant idea.
And that was the so, you know, a way of doing that is to, you know, be in peripheral vision, which connects you with your unconscious mind, to create a picture of what you wanted, Ha breathe, and do the you know, the havening touch, and then just ask your unconscious mind to pass the picture and the energy and the mana that you've created to your higher self, or the source, or, you know, whatever it is that you want it, the holy guardian angel, or the collective unconscious, or whatever the name is that you have for it. And then, you know, then, though the important thing then is to act as if it's already happened.
Yes.
Which in religion is called, most religions these days is called faith. But in actual fact, it is still faith, but it's faith in yourself. That your unconscious mind and your higher self will make it happen in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice question. Great question.
That's a really great question. We've got loads of thank yous that have come along. We've had great question. Oh, we've had Matt say many people are comfort eating at the moment. I'm including it in that. In isolation, any techniques to counter or dissolve this? That's from Matt Nerona.
Oh, Matt. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Thanks,
lovely friend, Matt.
So comfort eating is generated by negative emotions. You know, we're feeling a negative emotion like anxiety, feeling fear, panic. Other people are feeling angry. Other people are feeling sad because they've lost people, or worry. You know, whether it's about finances, whether it's about their family, all of those kind of things. So instinctively, what we do to get ourselves out of that loop, if you like, and it is a loop, because people go from like the uptime states of anxiety, fear, and panic, but you can't do that for long because it tires you out. So once you then go into the tired bit, you go into the sadness, the depression, the hurt, the guilt, etc. But you recuperate, and then you go back into the other side again. There you go back into anxiety. And what happens is, neurologically, our body goes, I can't keep going around this crazy 8. So it's a survival mechanism. What our body does is it goes, I need to do something to change my neurochemistry. I need to do something to change the chemicals in my brain. So there's a number of things that can do that. Alcohol will do that. Drugs will do that, whether they be prescription drugs or non-prescription drugs. But equally, so will food, particularly carbohydrates. And, you know, let's put it this way, all carbohydrates, when they hit your stomach, are sugar.
Yes.
Yeah. And they change your neurochemistry. Also, you know, anything that changes your state. So, you know, gambling, sex, any of those kind of things change your neurochemistry. But the effect of it wears off. And then you go back into the loop again, until your body goes like, okay, can't take this anymore, hit the fridge.
Yeah.
hit the bar, whatever it may be. So, you know, the first thing to do is to forgive yourself. I think that's an important thing. It isn't there's something wrong with you. It's your neurology going, I can't keep going around this loop anymore. I need a rest. I need a break. Yeah. But with even just the things we've talked about already, with Hakalau and Ha breathing and, you know, the havening, it enables us to get out of that loop in a more healthy and ecological way. So, you know, Matt, thanks for asking that question. It's a brilliant question. And I'm sure that, well, you and I are not the only people that are experiencing that, right? So the thing to do when you feel like, right, I'm going to hit the fridge and, you know, hit the wrong kind of food, or drink too much of the wrong kind of thing, or whatever it may be, is to just sit down, put yourself in Hakalau, Ha breathe, haven, and also focus on what you want.
Yes.
You know, I know we've had news that a lot of people didn't want to have today. They were hoping that the lockdown was going to end very soon. Who knows? There's a lot of confusion out there. You know, what actually are the facts? But it appears that we might be in this situation for another 3-4 weeks. Pay attention to where you want to be when this all ends. And you know, and what you want to do then.
Yeah.
That will make it, whilst you're doing this, or, you know, like the other person asked the question, focus on your goals.
Yeah.
Whilst you're doing that. And that will get you out of the crazy eight, will get you out of the comfort eating or whatever else you're doing for comfort.
Yeah, so good. I love this. I'm going to replace it with my meditation, that bit. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Tracy said, thank you so much for sharing. We'll definitely be trying this out tonight. How cool
Great.
is that?
Good.
And Ali said, brilliant techniques. Thank you. Ellie said, you've both been amazing. I will be practicing these techniques. And then you've answered the one about goal setting, which is absolutely brilliant. And there you go. Superb. Thank you so, so much. People that are from the FHT group, Federation of Holistic Therapists group, if you put email them back, and the reference is Reflex UK, then you'll get a copy of the videos that, David, you
Which
said,
is the Ha breathing video.
The Ha breathing, and also you'll get your CPD points for attending today. So that's great. Is there anything else you want to say, David?
Yeah, I also today, a number of people have been saying to me that they've been struggling in lockdown with the people that they're locked down with, you know, people that they're not used to being that close to for so long. And so I did a live about that, but also the technique, again, it's a Huna technique. It's interesting that I'm kind of like sharing more Huna techniques than NLP techniques.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Over this period of time, and there's a process called Ho'oponopono, which is a process that enables you to heal up your response to the other person inside of you, because you can't change the other person.
No.
The thing is, they were always. It's not that they've changed; it's just that you're with them 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But also, I was with one of my clients, and her mother was in ICU, and obviously couldn't get to speak with. And the doctor said things aren't looking that great, And so she contacted me, said, "I feel helpless. I feel powerless. What can I do?" And she'd done a Huna introduction with me. So I said, "Well, do Ho'oponopono with your mum, so that the part of you inside that is your mum is totally healed, whole, and magnificent."
Yeah.
And she did that, and she started doing that the next day. The doctors phoned her up and said that her mother had stabilized, and she continued doing it every day, and now her mother is out of ICU, just in a regular ward.
Wow.
Just on regular oxygen. So it's a powerful
Very.
process, not only of self-healing,
Yeah.
but of healing other people. So I was with a very good friend of mine, phenomenal musician, guitarist, Frederick Carlson, in the studio this afternoon, obviously virtually because he's in Iceland and I'm in London. And I recorded a version of Ho'oponopono to do with just one person, whereas traditionally you do it with everybody and everything, which is a lengthy process. But I'm quite happy. I think I sent you the link for that too, that audio download.
Okay, great, fantastic. So
if you want to share that with people too, then I'm more than happy. So you've got the heart breathing with the video of me, the Pacific.
Yeah, that was bliss. That was bliss.
And Ho'oponopono. So
fantastic. So grateful to you for coming on.
Your email address in.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I can't thank you enough. And your app is absolutely brilliant. I carry it on my phone and it brings me back in touch with how to be positive, which is needed more than ever at this time at the moment, isn't it? So I don't know whether there's anything else you want to share, David, before we close. Joyce said it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. And someone on iPhone has said so interesting and useful techniques. So loving it.
No, that's what that's my primary focus at the moment is is to make as many people as possible aware and to enable people to become a choice again. Because I think that the thing that's frustrated a lot of people, made them angry, made them sad, whatever, is that they've felt that their choice has been removed. And with what we've shared tonight and what we know, there are ways for you to take your choice back. There are ways for you to take your power back.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. So thank you for allowing me to be here with all of your contacts, your friends, etc., to be able to share that with as many people.
I could talk with you all night and listen to you. And can I give you a big, massive virtual hug? Is that all right? Woo! I'm sorry. I'll do it probably like this because you see, we're all very tactile. That's the hard bit. But I'll send you some love from this end. So
brilliant. Thank you. And if you, I do a live on Facebook, and I then post it on LinkedIn and YouTube and various other places. So if you want to check the back catalogue, there's a good number of those now. And also, I've got a lot of stuff in my app at davidshepard.com. So if you like it, then there's a lot of stuff there. So but here's my thing. I think there's no word in Hawaiian for goodbye.
Oh, okay.
because they believed that we would always meet again.
Absolutely.
You know, whether that be tomorrow, next year, next life, or just back in the what they called the Keave, or the source of everything. So there's no word in Hawaiian for goodbye.
No.
But so they're kind of like greeting almost when they parted was a hui ho.
A hui ho.
A hui ho.
A hui ho.
That's it. Which means until we meet again.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So a hui ho.
A hui ho. Fantastic. I've learned a bit of Hawaiian. That is so good. So good. Thank you so much. And I can't say anything else. It's just been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You've really lifted my spirits. I'm sure with everyone else, and they're all saying, someone's put David's training is a blast. I enjoyed his NLP practitioner pre-study. Amazing training from Matt McCardle or Cardi. And thank you until we meet again. So I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Right, I'm going to end the meeting for all of us. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.